The grass of Sekigahara has always tasted of iron, but tonight, it tastes of the void. The mist that usually blankets this valley, the crossroads of Japan's destiny, is no longer the soft, gray breath of the mountains. It is a thick, unnatural haze of violet static and pulverized stone, smelling of ozone and the copper scent of 1,000 men who have already been turned to ash. I am Nobutaka, and I was born to unite this land under a single banner of steel. I have spent my life fighting the Tokugawa, the Toyotomi, and the ghosts of my own ancestors. But today the banners of the East and the West lay discarded in the blood-slicked mud, trampled by the indifferent three-toed feet of an empire that does not care for our lords or our laws. The sky is a wound. A jagged, bleeding tear of orange and purple where the Solaris Citadel has anchored itself. It is a floating fortress of obsidian and light, shaped like a blooming lotus, and from its petals the Starlight Legion descends. They are not creatures of flesh, they are constructs of geometry and hunger, tall and lanky, their bodies composed of shifting white shards that rotate around a core of pure, screaming plasma. Zenjiro. The flank is bending. I roar, my voice a jagged rasp through the smoke. General Zenjiro, my greatest rival and now my only brother in arms, does not look back. He is standing atop a pile of dead horses and broken spears, his hands gripped white on the handles of the dragon cannon. It is a monstrosity of bronze and scavenged alien cores, a weapon that shouldn't work in a world of wood and paper. He slams a glowing blue fuel cell into the breach, and the cannon screams, a high-pitched, electric wail that vibrates the teeth in my skull. Let it bend, Nobutaka. We are the hammer, not the wall. Zenjiro screams back. He pulls the lever. A bolt of blue lightning, thick as an oak tree, lances across the valley. It hits a starlight colossus, a 300-foot nightmare of glass and thunder, right in its central iris. The explosion is a blinding supernova of white light. The colossus doesn't fall, it unbinds. Its shards scatter across the battlefield like lethal falling stars, crushing a dozen of my best swordsmen and 100 alien drones in a single indifferent collapse. Now, the heart of the lotus. I raise the Eclipse Nodachi. It is a blade 5 feet long, forged from the cold remains of the first ship that fell in Kyoto. It does not reflect the orange sunset, it creates its own dawn. The steel is wreathed in a corona of gold and white energy that hums with the resonance of a dying sun. I feel the power of the blade crawling up my arms, burning my skin through my silk undertunic, but I welcome the fire. It is the only thing hot enough to melt the fear in my heart. We charge. It is a sea of crimson and gold armor rushing into a forest of violet light. We are 3,000 samurai, the last of the Yasuji, the Date, and the Shimazu, united by a common death. We do not cry out for our clans. We cry out for the earth. The mud beneath my boots is a slurry of red clay and sapphire alien ichor. A face slasher jumps from the shadows of a burning supply wagon. It moves with a stuttering, nonlinear speed, its plasma blades weaving a web of violet death. I don't use the forms of the sword masters. There is no time for grace. I swing the Eclipse Nodachi in a massive horizontal sweep, the gold energy trailing behind the steel like a physical weight. The blade passes through the alien's energy shield as if it were mountain mist, cleaving the construct in half. The sapphire fluid sprays my face, hot and stinging, but I don't blink. Hina. The eyes. Blind the citadel. From the ridge above, Captain Hina and her son archers release a volley. They are not firing arrows of bamboo and iron. They are firing shafts of glass alloy tipped with unstable alien cores. The arrows streak through the sky like a swarm of angry fireflies, arching over the battlefield to strike the hovering drones that protect the Citadel's base. Every hit is a miniature starburst, a bloom of blue fire that blinds the sensors of the star spawn. But the Citadel is not a passive observer. It is a living machine. The obsidian petals of the lotus begin to rotate, and a low-frequency hum shakes the valley so violently that the very hills begin to slide. A beam of concentrated emerald light lances down from the apex. It hits the center of our formation. I watch as 50 of my brothers simply vanish. There is no blood. There is no wreckage. There is only a perfectly circular hole in the earth, 5 feet deep, where the soldiers and the mud were vaporized into a gray ionized mist. Don't stop. If you stop, you die. I scream, my lungs burning from the ozone. We reach the light bridge, the shimmering ramp of solidified energy that leads into the heart of the Solaris Citadel. It is guarded by the God Eye, a central sentinel that possesses 12 limbs and a gaze that can melt steel. It looms over the bridge, its obsidian shell pulsing with a malevolent, deep red rhythm. Zenjiro is at my side now, his dragon cannon smoking and cracked. He has no more fuel cells. He draws his traditional katana, the steel notched and stained, but his eyes are clear. "We go together, Nobutaka," he says, a faint smile touching his blood-masked face. "To the end of the age. To the end of the stars, Zenjiro." The god eye fires. A wave of sonic pressure hits us, throwing the front line into the air. I am slammed backward, my armor shattering, the metal biting into my ribs. My vision goes black for a heartbeat, filled with the images of the Kyoto fire, the IGA shadows, and the sunken ships of the Seto Sea. It has all led to this. All the blood, all the steel, all the silence. I pull myself up. The Eclipse Nodachi is still in my hand, its gold light flickering but holding. I see the god eye preparing a final, lethal burst. It is focusing all its energy into a single point, a sphere of white fire that will erase the entire valley of Sekigahara. I don't run. I enter the void stance. I close my eyes and listen to the vibration of the blade. The meteor iron is no longer a sword, it is a key. It is the resonance of the universe itself. Take my life. Take my honor. But give me the strike. I launch myself forward. I'm not running, I am the gale. I am the tide. I am the mountain. I leap onto the light bridge, the violet energy burning my feet. The god eye fires the white sphere. I don't parry. I absorb. The Eclipse Nodachi drinks the white fire. The blade turns into a pillar of pure solar radiance that reaches the sky. The weight of the energy is immense, crushing my spine, breaking my knees, but I do not fall. I drive the tip of the glowing blade into the central iris of the god eye. The world disappears. The explosion is not a sound. It is an unmaking. The white fire of the blade meets the red core of the sentinel, creating a chain reaction that travels up the light bridge and into the very heart of the Solaris Citadel. The obsidian petals begin to shatter, the black glass turning into a rain of diamonds that covers the valley. The violet static is snuffed out by a roar of golden light. The citadel groans, a sound like tectonic plates grinding together, and then it detonates. A supernova of white, gold, and sapphire light erupts over Sekigahara, a shockwave that flattens the forest for miles and sends a wall of pressure that extinguishes every fire in the province. I am thrown through the air, a leaf in a hurricane of starlight. I hit the mud 100 yards away. The world is silent. The humming has stopped. The screaming has ended. I look up, my breath coming in ragged, wet gasps. The sky over Sekigahara is no longer orange. The Solaris Citadel is gone, vanished into a cloud of fine black sand that the wind is already carrying away. The great vessels in the distance are retreating, their silver hulls flickering as they flee the death of their master. The sun has finally set. A real sun. A human sun. I look to my right. Zenjiro is there, lying in the mud, his eyes fixed on the stars. He isn't moving. I look to my left. Hina is standing on the ridge, her bow broken, her silhouette dark against the deepening blue of the twilight. She is the only one standing. I look at my hands. They are empty. The Eclipse Nodachi is gone, shattered into a million pieces along with the enemy it killed. My armor is a ruin, my lord is dead, and my land is a graveyard of stars. But as I breathe in the cold, honest air of the night, I realize that the silence is no longer a threat. It is a gift. The age of the samurai ended tonight. Not by the hand of a new shogun and not by the ambition of a daimyo. It ended in a fire that reached the heavens and a steel that refused to break. We are the last of the old world, the guardians of a sunset that will never be forgotten. I close my eyes, the cold mud of Sekigahara welcoming me home. The iron is gone. The blade is silent. The grass remains. The moon rises over the valley, illuminating the white sand and the red clay. The wind whispers through the shattered bamboo, a slow, mournful tune for a victory that has no songs. The stars are just stars again, cold, distant, and beautiful. We are the ghosts of the final charge, the men who looked at the end of the world and did not look away. The history of Japan will be written in the ash of the stars, and the memory of the blade will be carved into the silence of the mountains. The field is still. The war is over. The earth is ours. The darkness is deep and full of peace, and the long, long day is finally done.